Welcome to Cybersecurity Savvy, the show that demystifies cybersecurity for not-for-profit boards and leaders. Hello, I'm your host Michala Liavaag, founder of Cybersecurity Consulting. It's October, which means that today I'm going to be talking to you about Black History Month. No, that's not right. Breast Cancer Awareness Month. What? No? Okay. Cybersecurity Awareness Month. Excellent, thank you. So, what is Cybersecurity Awareness Month? It's celebrated all across the world, and why is it so important for you as leaders? As we spoke about in the last episode, cybersecurity, being the protection of those interconnected systems, is really important throughout the year, not just this month. The benefit of this month is that there's lots of organisations providing you with free resources to help your education and awareness programme. And as you're a leader, you can lead the way this month on this topic. You'll have heard the phrase, cybersecurity is everyone's job. The problem is, if it's everyone's job, then everyone thinks somebody else is doing it. With the pandemic and lots of people working from home as well, this hybrid situation we've got now, you actually need everyone to be their own personal security teams. So this year's theme is Do Your Part, Be Cybersmart. So what does it actually mean to be cybersmart? There's three key things here: passphrases, multi-factor authentication or two-step verification, and patching, doing all the security updates. If you can get people just doing these three things this week, then it will actually make a huge difference, especially if your charity is not for profits, where you're relying on people using their own equipment. Then you need them to be, as I said, be their own security team and actually doing this. So first of all, let's have a quick chat about passphrases. Now, people who've worked with me will know that I've been a fan of these for quite a long time. And we always used to talk about password to passphrase. So what is the difference? A passphrase is a combination of unrelated words that's easy to remember, perhaps something that you can sort of picture, like, I don't know, a dog, a bed and a football. And I might be picturing the dog with the football on the bed. Nice easy picture for me to remember. That's my passphrase. However, dog is only 3 characters, bed is only 3 characters. It's actually better if you can make sure that each word is at least 5 characters long. So why don't we say instead corgi, football, divan? It works. And also, a lot of systems now don't require you to have the extra special characters and numbers and lowercase and uppercase. It is better to do that, but for those who struggle with that, if your system can support 15 characters of lowercase, that's absolutely fine. The longer the password, the stronger it is. Generally speaking, of course. Another place that passphrases are really important is the local administration on that system. Chances are that if you've got people using their home computers, then they are likely to be the administrators of those machines, because there aren't many people, unless you work in security like me, who have 2 separate accounts. One for doing your sort of standard everyday business, and then a separate one only for administration tasks. I would certainly encourage you to check at least with your IT and make sure that they're doing that at work, if not at home. Let's move on to multi-factor authentication. Now, this is still part of identity and access management. If an attacker guesses a password, or it's been breached already and they use it and get into another system because somebody hasn't used unique passphrases on each system or website, and that's a key thing that can help improve security. Don't use the same password everywhere. Then the multi-factor authentication is effectively another layer. So something you have, something you are, and something you know are the things that we talk about. So in this case, the something we know is our passphrase. And in terms of something I am, that might be facial recognition or fingerprint recognition. And some of you might have seen how banks nowadays are also doing voice print recognition to help cut fraud. And then the other way is something you have. And this is quite common in organizations, certainly larger ones. So it might be you have an app on your phone, some authenticator, and I'd always recommend doing that if it's available. Then there's the SMS text messaging, which is again another method of getting you to confirm who you are in terms of having possession of that phone number, being able to receive that text message. Now, it's not foolproof. So again, I'd recommend the app over the text message option if available to you. Say, for example, in the NHS, you're very used to using these smart cards, so using the RFC technology. And again, there are lots of options. YubiKeys are other physical options. Depends on the system. And of course now Microsoft are hoping to actually get rid of passphrases altogether. So watch this space. Now, just a key word about multi-factor authentication. It can be the difference between your organization being hacked or not. In particular, people with, for example, Microsoft Office 365, if you are serving your content, say SharePoint, Exchange, on the web so that your users can access it remotely or using your software as a service, then if it's only the passphrase that somebody needs to get in, that's really putting your whole organization at risk. It is going from sort of relatively low risk to incredibly high risk, especially when you think that the security you might have in the office isn't there at home. So one of the most important things you can do for yourself to keep yourself safe at home as well as at work is have a long, strong passphrase, enable multi-factor authentication on the app. So the final thought for this week is those security updates, not just the mobile updates on your phones, but operating system updates on laptops, PCs at work, the different applications you use. Your routers that give you access to the internet, when was the last time you updated those? And going back to our first point, did you update it with a passphrase, or was it still the default password that it was when you got it? If so, time to change it this week. The other thing to understand about software updates is that it's not just about functionality. There's quite often security fixes in the background. So don't think, oh, I don't want that feature and leave it. Go ahead and update anyway. And if you're a larger organisation with perhaps an IT department or an outsourced IT service provider, check, do you have software updates in the contracts? Are they actually doing them? Your servers, your desktops, your applications. Ask the question, and if it's not happening, then start a program to really address that, because it's again one of those key things that can make a huge difference. Attackers shouldn't still be able to compromise a system with a 15-year-old vulnerability, but it still happens every day. Okay, so I think as a leader, those 3 things that you can focus on this week and really get that message across to your staff and volunteers is do your part, be cybersmart. What does it mean to be cybersmart? It means we use long and strong passphrases of 15 characters or more ideally. It means we enable multi-factor authentication where we have the opportunity to do so. And finally, doing those security updates across all the technology, which might be a console that your kids are playing with, for example, or very importantly, those routers that give you access to the internet. So this week, you're going to turn your staff into their own security teams. Good luck.